guys, it's Jim Downs with Motorhome Rehab Ranch, and today, before you go out and pick your own little Barbie for yourself, I thought maybe it'd be a good thing for us to sit down and talk about what you should look at in considerations when you think about buying a GMC motorhome. So what do you think? All right, first of all, let me tell you this. This is a 101. We're in our showroom right now, and when you come into our shop, you'll come in here first. We'll sit in a little sofa right there, and we'll have some 101 classes. What that's for is to help you understand what you're looking at, to be sure that the reality matches what your ideas are. And that's really important. The last thing I want to hear is, well, if I'd have known that before, I wouldn't have done it, or I would have done something else. So we don't want to have that happen. Well, luckily, or maybe unluckily for you, my mother was a research librarian. Yes, I was raised in a library by librarians. My first job was cleaning films in the art and music department. And I'll tell you that the dreams and nightmares of the Dewey Decimal System has subsided a little bit. But the one thing that stuck with me was you have to be careful if you ask me a question. I mean, you go to the library and you ask the librarian behind the desk about, I don't know, platypus. She's going to bring you 5 books about a platypus, and she's going to make you sit down there and read them, right? Okay. So you need to be careful when you ask me a question, because I have this irresistible urge to tell you everything about it. And that's what I hope will come out through all of these episodes that we do for you. So let's first talk about what should you consider when you're buying a GMC motorhome. It's 40 years old. You must understand that this is an old vehicle. You're not buying a 2010 Toyota. You're buying a vehicle of the 70s. There's no computer on this thing. There's nowhere to plug into. You use your eyes, your ears, your nose to do your diagnostics. You look at it. You listen to it. You know, what's it smell like? That's what the diagnostics on a 40-year-old vehicle is. So you've got to take that into consideration when you buy one of these and understand there will be problems. What we want to do is to lessen the exposure to major issues, or at least know what they are. Okay. So you like one of these things. I've heard the stories. Always liked them. Next door neighbor had one. Had a hubcap for one once. Everybody's always loved these things. Or it could be you just saw one. You just saw one last year on one of the movies or something like that. You know, it was in Anchorman 2. It was in, well, everybody says, you know, Stripes. There was also one in Tornado and some other ones. But anyway, they are very interesting. They're very unique. You're not going to see anything else. Hey, Bob. Hi. People coming in and out today. You know, these are very unique machines, and the next generation are understanding them, getting ready to purchase one of these things and do something for themselves. But you, again, there's some things you must understand about this. First thing you do, yeah, let's see, you got some donuts for us here, Bob.
Just like the old days.
All right, bring it over here. Here's our camera right here. Yeah, this is here. Say hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Here. Yeah, this is Bob. Believe it or not, Bob was. You get your head down here so they can see you. Hey, there you are. Bob was the absolute first restoration I did in the class store, 1997.
Way back there when?
Way back, and he brought donuts then too. So here, set them right over there. Let me get this over with. So hang out. Yeah,
sure?
Yeah. Here, they're out there. See, here, Jared. Yeah. Bob's dropping off the seat to his Lexus. We're going to reupholster. One nice thing is I have actually 2 upholsteries in house. So anyway, there's some things you should consider when you look to purchase one of these. Number 1, go to the back bumper, bend down and sight up the frame. Frame of a GMC is what's called a ladder frame. It's two big C channels running front to back with ladders across the middle. It's kind of like a boat trailer frame. It's very loose, okay? But these two C channels, it's important that you see a well-defined C on each side. If you see the bottom of it bent down a little bit like this, there is a subframe that the ladder frame, the rail, is bolted to. And you'll get rust between there. If the C is bent down like this, that could be rust. Now, it's 40 years old. There's always going to be some kind of rust, surface rust or something. You look up under there and you see a pristine black frame that looks like this, just go buy the thing, okay? But, so anyway, if it's a little bit bent, you can get the rust out of there, pull it back up, and weld it together. You can fix some light things. But if there's rust through and where the rear frame C channel hits the, I call it a whoop, you get the rear clip. If there's a lot of rust there where it's bolted together, you may want to send that one back because that's the killer. You don't want to get one that has a rusty frame. Okay, so let's get through the frame part. You do that because if you do like the rest of it, but it has a rotted frame, I hate for you to look at it. So if it has a really bad frame, understand that that's going to be about $13,000 to fix. It can be fixed. No problem. We've done that. But it's going to be about $13,000. So if you do see one that just absolutely blows your dress up, well, in frame shop at 13, 14, you know, depends on what the economy is. And you can do that. And we've had some that way. Matter of fact, we got an Explorer coach in here. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful motorhome. But when Explorer painted, they did a frame off, but when they painted the frame, they did not separate the subframe. So there's rust in there. So you got a brand new Explorer coach, you need to really suspect the frame on Explorers. Did a great job, but that was kind of like, you know, an unexpected result. You know, you don't want to drive Henry Ford's first car, you know. So you learn that over the years. And Explorer only built 40 coaches, so you have that issue with them. So we want to know that the frame's good on the coach you look at. Next thing. Does your wife like it? It's all about that. Happy wife, happy life. Make sure that this thing is something that they can get along with. Or if you've got the plan that this is going to be your man cave and all that, then she stands at the side and fire up the air conditioner in the car and let her wait in the car. That's what it's about. You've got to get a buy-in. Everybody that's going to use this thing has to feel good about it because there's going to be expense. Very important. And I have people coming in, and if he's sitting there and says, he loves it, he loves it, he loves it, his wife's sitting there, I don't really. I said, brother, we need to talk some more. Okay, you really need to have a use for these things. You don't want to collect it like you collect cars. Okay, so you're a car collector. You got a dozen cars, and you got, you know, one from Europe and one from Japan and one all. Don't go collect a motorhome just to have it, because the thing will rot right in front of you. You've got to have a use. You've got to have a reason for these things. And if they don't have a reason, if we don't have a reason in life, we're useless. Same thing with a motorhome. It's not just a car you park in the corner and take out once a year or something like that. It's a living, breathing thing, and it's got every part in the house except grass. It's got a septic tank. It's got a power plant, and then it has every system and every part in a car, all thrown in a box, made to go down the highway at 8.1 Richter scale vibration all day. I mean, what could go wrong, right? There's so many things having to do with the GMC you have to stay up with. You have to keep up with it. You have to have a punch list up front, and you have to add to it every time. You know, I should check this or whatever. It's going to cost you, after you get your motorhome up to the level that you feel you like it, whatever that is. I mean, it might just be stripped and a big case of beer. I don't know. But when it's where you want it to be, mechanically sound, you don't drive around. You don't go out in the open ocean with a boat that leaks. You've got to have reliability, and you have to go through the thing completely. That's just period. If you do anything less than that, you can, and it might work out just fine, but don't brag about it. That's it, you know, it's not something to brag about. It's kind of like saying, my battery's 8 years old. Don't do that. One bad battery will take out your whole electrical system. Change your battery. In fact, buy your wife a battery once a year. If you have three batteries in the coach, that means that every 36 months you've got a new battery. Your wife, you give her a battery, nice big box at Christmas, kind of fun. Anyway, we're off on a tangent. See, that's one of the problems when I worked in the library. I'm bad on tangents. So let's get back to buying a coach. Okay, so we've got the frame. Now look at it. Just look at it. Look at the interior. Is it something you think you can live with? Don't say, oh, we'll just get the whole thing. We'll just put it where we want. You can. That will be the most expensive thing to do. Because if you rip out the infrastructure, if you take out the plumbing, you take out the electrical, you take out the bulkheads, they're junk, and you build all that stuff back in there, you're going to have the expense of all those things to go back in, and now you can add money to make it more what you want. If the bulkheads are reasonable, in other words, if you want a rear bath, don't buy a side bath and want to create a rear bath. Don't do that. Go buy a rear bath because the infrastructure, the plumbing, the electrical, the bulkheads, when I say bulkheads, the main walls, could be all where you want them to be. Then all you've got to do is like you go in the kitchen. You redo your kitchen, right? They put a new tile floor, a new refrigerator sink, paint the walls, new solid surface or granite countertops, and you bring your friends in, oh, look at my new kitchen. Well, it's not a new kitchen. It's the same one. They just kind of duded it up, right? Well, that's the way you want to look at a GMC. You don't want to strip the whole thing out unless you want to, because if you've got a special need and you settle for something else, you'll hate yourself in the morning. Whatever you want, you should do it, because that's why we're doing this. We're not doing it for cheap transportation. Somebody didn't force you to buy this to drive to work or anything. You're going into this investment, you want to go in with your eyes open, okay? So on the interior, you can change seats, you can change overhead cabinets, you can change walls. But if you want a separate shower, and make sure you do want it before you say that, then buy a coach that's got a separate shower in it, okay? If the larger you make the bathroom, the smaller you make the motorhome. And the original GM floor plan units with the two-piece fiberglass, they call it wet shower, was actually pretty efficient. You don't go in there with a Sears catalog or anything, but you get that business done. The coach is as large as it can be because the bathroom is as modest as it can be and still do the job. So the bathroom really kind of, believe it or not, is kind of the first consideration, because that's where the space for the interior living space goes away. Okay? Some people have a convertible. Hey, if you buy one of those Rialtas, if you're a couple, you need to go sit up in the passenger seat while they pull the shower out and the other, your friend takes a shower and everything, because there's not enough room in the motorhome to do both. Personally, I call that an abbreviated life. I want to live life. I want a full motorhome. The GMC is a full motorhome. Now, it's a 26-foot one. It's small. It's kind of like traveling in a sailboat. You bring 3 pairs of shorts and wash one on the fly or something. You don't bring 2 barbecue grills. You bring 1. And if you don't really like barbecue, then don't bring a barbecue grill. Think about what you're doing. You've got 26 feet. You don't have a lot of storage. It's one of the challenges with a GMC, and they put the roof pod on. Well, you can't buy any new roof pods anymore. Why? Well, all the motorhomes have now underneath storage, and you got to climb a ladder to get up into them, right? So the world has gone backwards from where we are. But that's okay. And if you find one that does have a roof pod, and you're like George Carlin saying, you got to have some stuff to make yourself feel good. Well, that roof pod, that's a reason to buy one, because you can't buy any new ones. I got a couple of them around here that we're doing one, and actually Bill wanted a roof pod. Originally his had aluminum rails on the roof for tie downs for a soft pad, but think about all those screws. Thing looked like a pin cushion on the roof. So we got rid of that and we put him a roof pod up there. So roof pods can help a little bit. But you want to pack light, all right? And you want to look at the interior. You want to buy the interior. You want to buy an interior that works for you. You say, well, it's got 2 sofas. I don't want 2 sofas. Well, you can pitch a sofa and put in some seats. You say, well, I don't even care about a stove. Oh, cool. You can make the galley cabinet smaller. You know, you can look at it by cabinet, but don't just strip the whole thing unless you've got a wild idea. And I've done that. You look at mine, Larry is the name of it. It was a mobile post office in the Denver postal system. Had no interior, no windows, had a big 36-inch wide back door. You guys with motorcycles? Yeah. You can drop the back of the coach, pull the bike right up in there, strap it down, and haul butt. What a great machine. That's what mine does. That's what I wanted. You know, what do you want? It can do a lot of different things. If you want a motorhome to enjoy at the most economical price to do it, GMC is the cheapest toy in the box. Your second consideration after making sure the wheels will stay on it is to pick a floor plan. Then stand back and look at it. Was it kept well? You know, were there critters living in it? I mean, you know, what do you feel that you would be willing to pay for that? Now understand that whatever price you decide on, you're going to put $5,000 to $10,000 more in it as soon as you buy it. You go, what? I thought I bought it too. No, you're buying a 40-year-old motorhome. It's going to need some things. It may need some things that the previous owner didn't even know about. I mean, that just happens. The thing's been working for so long, working so beautiful for so long, there can't be anything wrong with it. But it's been doing that for 150,000 miles. What's that mean? And all the squirrels are holding together, all the ants are holding their arms together, holding that thing together. You got to give them some love, and you got to go in there and find out what it needs. And you're going to put $5,000 to $10,000 in it. It's just it. And if you buy a coach for less than $10,000, it will probably be the smaller of the two checks to get it on the road. That's just the reality of it. Now, you'll run into some at an estate sale or something like that, and that's awesome. But you're still going to have to look at it completely. You got to go through the whole thing. You've got to know what kind of 12,000-pound projectile you're driving on the highway. You have to go through the base on all the fluids. You need to go through the B's and B's, the bearings and brakes. You got to know that the wheel will not pass you on the highway. There's 6 of them. Remember. You also got to know that you can stop that booger and jump out and run if something else happens. Bearings and brakes. Don't you drive it home? The first drive is to get it safe and secure. Okay, drive one because you're driving. You're riding with a scarf on and some goggles. Okay, half pack of cigarettes, full tank of gas is darker wearing those sunglasses. You got to get the thing home and get it safe and get it where you can check it out. Very important time. You need to bring some tools. You need to call me. But that's a very important thing to do. After you've made the selection, you need to get it safe. And then you've got to go through it mechanically. I don't care how pretty it is. I don't care what the previous owner told you. You must do, as Reagan said, trust but verify. The guy says he has brand new brakes. You say, awesome. When we go in there, we'll see brand new parts. I don't want it to do anything. That's fantastic. Okay? But you have to go look. Okay, you have to do all this stuff. You have to do a compression test. And if the compression test shows a low cylinder, next question is, how long has the coach been sitting? Oh, about a year. That thing could just have some carbon buildup on a valve or something. You need to go drive it. You know, just because compression's low in one cylinder, don't just say, well, it's junk. Because remember, again, it's a 40-year-old turd. The thing's been hanging around for 40 years old, waiting for you to come in and make a selection. It's a puppy in the window, okay? And they can do some neat things. And people enjoy the heck out of them. But tell you something, I can't wait anymore. Hang on a second.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, what's going on? Getting the day going?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm not supposed to have this. We haven't done it. So look, you want to make sure that you get an investment that you can spend money in. Don't buy one of these things and think you're going to paint lips on the pig and flip it and make money. Nobody's making you buy this thing. You're buying it because you want it. You're buying it because you want to go do something with it. You've got an idea that a motorhome can help you in your life. Well, then good. That's where the value is. So that's pretty good too. That's where the value is. It's in you using it. It's in you setting it up for yourself to do exactly what you want it to do. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be. If you don't care, I had a guy painted one beautiful job. Known him for years, longer than I've known motorhomes. He came up to me one day and said, "Jim, I wish I'd never got it painted." Oh, I said, "Don't feel bad." And no, I go in regattas and I take this thing, I'll sneak up behind a building and plug in power and stay there for the weekend and stuff. Go in the bushes and stuff with it. The thing's so pretty now, I can't do that. So, you don't want to build it for what you want it to be. Mine fits my lifestyle. I'll show you a picture on it on Daily Post tomorrow. It has palm frond camouflage on the bottom, has P51 shark's teeth on the front with bullet holes inside. And it fits me perfect. Love it. You know, you don't have you can have one like this, absolutely, and they can go that way, and you know what they can look like. That's what we do. This is the work that we do. But when you get one of these things, don't think that you're cutting yourself short because it's not beautiful or it's painted or any of this. If it makes you happy, brother, that's what you want to do. You know, um, by the time you buy one of these and you have it where it's reliable, you look at one, you say, "I like the one in the window. Let's get it reliable." If you have less than $25,000 in it, you're doing pretty good. You go, "Wow, that's a lot of money." It is a lot of money. I don't have that in my pocket. But you can put it in a little bit at a time if that's the situation. Get one where it's operational and get it home. My God, you did a great job. Okay, and then clean the crap out of it. That doesn't cost anything. And then see what you need to do. Make a list. Get a priority list. Bearings and brakes and tires and stuff like that. It'd be nice if it starts, but it's really got to stop. You get your list going about what you need to do, and don't fudge it. "Well, the brakes, man, they work so good, man. I want to get that TV. Let's get that seat." No, please, guys, go check out the brakes. Go do all that stuff because that's where the important stuff is. It needs to be reliable. Can't push it. Tow bill's going to melt your wallet. It needs to be fixed where it drops. You don't want to put anything in it that puts you in harm's way of failure where you can't make it run again. This is your fork when you're on the road. Hot rod or, car, I got into this through cars, fat fender Mopars. Yeah, it breaks down. I could get a trailer or something to tow it home. This is going to cost money if this motorhome breaks down. Would you rather fix it in your shop, on your time, on your money, or pay Bubba and Scoot? So you've got to go through it. And if you're under $25,000 when you're ready to go, you've done a pretty good job. I got to tell you. And if you got it where it's comfortable for you, pretty, and reliable, whatever you want, okay, you're going to have $50,000. And if you've done less than that, awesome. I don't have $50,000 in my palm frond paint job, okay, and it just works just fine for me. So these are just round numbers, okay. If you want a really nice motor, you want a custom motor, you had a Prevost before. And I've had customers that have Prevos, have come all the way to the line. They've owned 15 motorhomes over the years, and they're accustomed to living in that certain style. It's not a problem. GMC can do that. And he doesn't have to hire a driver, and he doesn't have to have a spot waiting for him to park it and secure it at night. If you're in two parking spots, you got two parking spots end to end, 26-foot motorhomes in them. If you've got one parking spot in a long hangover, you're in it with a 23. You ought to see a 23 at the beach, parked with the butt hanging over the sand dune, parked in a single spot. And baby, you are a substantial object in that space. It's great. So those are the things that why you should buy these. How to buy it? Well, make sure you do your best to try to get the best investment for you. When I say investment, investment in your pleasure, in your fun, because that's what you're investing this money into, not in somebody else's. Okay, it's in you. Um, and then call me. You got a question? Call me, and I can tell you where it's at. There's just big pictures of everything that just fits everybody. And these are the ones that I would tell you in my 101 here to look for. And from there, we get up and go outside and talk about all different floor plans and all that kind of stuff. And then you make a decision on what you want. One good way to close a sale, if you find that you really find one you like, these coaches are all over the country. I mean, you have to cast a wide net to find one of these things. So, I mean, if you're in Florida and the guy's in Oregon, he's got a coach you want to see, you have an obstacle. There's a rather pricey obstacle there. Well, that's going to be a problem. You're going to either have to fly out there. Anybody that buys any investment over $5,000 should see it before you put the money down. You should not trust anybody else. You should go see it because, yes, it may cost a little bit of money to go there. But if the coach is in the Southeast somewhere, tell the guy, look, I like it. It's what I think I want. And if everything is true that you say it is, I'll buy it. I'll even make you another deal. Drive it to Orlando. I'll pay your gas, and if it is what you say it is, I'll have it surveyed. Any house or boat or anything you do, get surveyed. You need to know what you're buying. Tell them to bring it down here, and you'll pay them to bring it. And if they say they're ready to go cross country, well, then come on, brother, let's go cross country. You'll pay the gas. When it gets here, we'll do a 5-page survey, tell you ABC, all the mechanical running gear. You're the one that's got to say if you like the way it looks. I mean, purple, pink polka dots, That's you. That's on you. But we can do a 5-page survey on it. It takes 2 hours worth of our labor. Our labor is $80 an hour. It's $160. That will give you a picture of that unit. And if it is what he says it is, and you can work with it, believe me, shake his hand, buy him lunch, buy him a ticket home. It's the best money you spent because you've not had to spend the money to do the same thing. Look at it this way. If it makes it, that's pretty good. So, if he's in North Carolina, I'll pay your gas. I'll pay you a bus ticket home. Bring it down. Let's get it surveyed. It's a good way to know what you've got and make the decision. And hey, it's here. You don't have to go out on the road that first white knuckle trip with the Blues Brothers. It's already here. We can do the problems, the issues that we find on the mechanical, get it going, and you can fly back in and take it on. So many people have done that. It's worked out very well for them. Ask people how it works. This thing is going to cost some money. Okay, it's just going to cost some money. Okay, look at it this way: if you bought that pusher that they're trying to get you to buy with the 19.5 wheels, hell, tires alone on that thing's $400 a piece. Every time you get an oil change, it's $500. You're going to have some money invested in a GMC, but it's the best money you'll put into traveling yourself and enjoying it. It's not for everybody, but if you find that it's for you, brother, you need to look at them because I didn't think it would take 20 years. But after 20 years, I've got to tell you that retro's here to stay. We're the 56 T-Birds of the RV business. And by golly, you should have it. So give me a call if I can help with anything else about maybe a person to coach. We have some here that are on consignment that are customers coaches. We don't buy and sell. I want to be the piano player. But I do have some here if you'd like to fly into Orlando, hang out for a day or so, learn about coaches, see some that are for sale. That might be some good money spent too. Who knows? Somebody might bring in a donut or something, have breakfast. Look, it's been good talking to you. It's been a little bit long, but, see you again.